Habituation involves learning not to respond to stimulation. It helps you focus in important stimuli while ignoring those that need no attention.
Oh, I can't stand this noise.
What in the world is that?
Oh, it's just the radio. You'll get used to it.
In this scenario, it was an example of habituation. Melissa, the first student, got irritated by the sound of the radiator and decided to go to the library to concentrate. Later on, she brought her friend over to her room, and her friend, Melanie, asked what that sound was. She was like, oh, it's just the radiator. She basically got used to the sound. And that's an example of habituation.
Classical conditioning is a form of behavioral learning in which a previously neutral stimulus acquires the power to elicit the same innate reflex produced by another stimulus. It involves an unconditioned stimulus, an unconditioned response, and a neutral stimulus. Before the conditioning, the unconditioned stimulus will automatically elicit the unconditioned response. When we introduce a neutral stimulus by itself, it will produce no response or no relevant response. However, when we pair the neutral stimulus with the unconditioned stimulus, it will elicit the same response as the unconditioned stimulus by itself. Through association with the unconditioned stimulus, the previously neutral stimulus, now called the conditioned stimulus, now acquires the power to elicit the same unconditioned response, now known as the conditioned response, as the unconditioned stimulus did.
This bed makes me so sleepy.
In the scene that we just saw, a daughter lays in her bed and the bed makes her tired. That makes the bed the unconditioned stimulus and her being tired the unconditioned response. Later on we see the mother coming in and stroking the child's head as she lays in bed, which continues to elicit the same tired response as her just laying in bed. The mother continued to stroke the daughter's head while she was in bed over a couple of nights. Later on in the scene, as they're watching television, the mother continues to stroke the daughter's head, but now the stroking of the head elicits the same response of being tired that the bed elicited at first.
Operant conditioning is a form of behavioral learning in which the probability of a response is changed by its consequences. That is, by the stimuli that follow the responses. It involves a reinforcer, which is a condition involving either one presentation or removal of a stimulus. That occurs after a response and strengthens that response. It can be both positive or negative. Positive reinforcers are those such as rewards, and negative reinforcers are those such as punishments.
Hey, Mom, I'm home.
Hey, how was your test today?
Well, I didn't study much last night, so I only got a 64.
You only got a 64?
Yep.
I'm very disappointed. I'm going to take your phone until you study harder and get a better grade.
Okay.
In the following scene, a girl has a test coming up and studies really hard. She gets 100 on her exam. She shows it to her mother, and her mother, in turn, gives her $10 as a reward for the good grade. On her next test, she makes sure she studies very hard again so she could receive the same reward.
Hope you stopped it.
Hey, Mom, I'm home.
How was your test today?
I studied so much last night that I got 100 on it.
You did? Let me see. I'm so proud of you. You know what that means? Don't spend it all in one place.
Thanks, Mom.